Hey everyone, I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for this explainer. Today, we're taking a real practical look at how to completely transform our daily repetitive tasks into a source of boundless, sustainable energy. Look, if you've ever felt like you're just running on a hamster wheel, doing all the right things, but somehow ending up totally spiritually exhausted at the end of the day, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to explore a profoundly practical framework today to turn those ordinary actions into a truly infinite practice. Okay, let's dive into this. It's a question so many of us face. You help a colleague, you volunteer, maybe you spend all weekend taking care of your family. You try to do the right thing, but instead of feeling uplifted, you just feel completely drained. Why do our good deeds sometimes leave us feeling so empty? Well, as practitioners navigating daily life, we often treat our positive actions like basic transactions. We put a coin of effort into the machine, and we expect a little rush of satisfaction or gratitude back out. And when that machine stops paying out, we experience emotional and spiritual burnout. But what if the problem isn't the work we're actually doing, but the root system we're planting it in? This brings us to a really brilliant metaphor from our source material, and it sets the foundation for our entire practice today. It says, ordinary good deeds are like a banana tree, withering after bearing fruit. Good deeds from Bodhicitta are like the tree of enlightenment, growing more flourishing instead of withering after bearing fruit. Now, this isn't just poetry, it is a radically different framework for understanding exactly how we spend our energy. We're going to unpack exactly what this means and how making one simple internal shift can make your personal energy quite literally infinite. So here is how we're going to cultivate our minds today. First, we'll examine the banana tree trap. Then, we'll discover the tree of enlightenment, followed by tackling the poison of ego. After that, we'll cover practical steps, transforming work and family, using hardship as nourishment, and finally, your daily mindset check. Section 1, the banana tree trap. To understand how to grow an infinite tree, we really have to look at what we are currently planting. If you know anything about botany, you know that a banana stem produces a single bunch of fruit, and then it dies. You literally have to chop it down to let a new shoot grow. And honestly, ordinary deeds are just like this. They're finite and self-interested. The reward is limited to a single result. Maybe it's a thank you, maybe it's a paycheck, or just a brief moment of feeling good about yourself. And then the energy withers. You have to start all over again. But Bodhicitta deeds, the awakening tree, are infinite and selfless. Because our motivation isn't tied to getting a temporary transactional reward, our roots actually grow deeper with every single action, and the branches flourish endlessly. Section 2, the tree of enlightenment. So if we want to get off this exhausting cycle of planting banana trees, we need to understand the seed of this infinite tree. That seed is bodhicitta. The text defines this as the selfless intention and awakened mind aimed at attaining enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. Now, I know that might sound like a really lofty term, but as a practitioner, this simply means that before you act, you widen your lens. You aren't acting for brief personal happiness. You're acting to awaken everyone. When your intention is that vast, your actions become the unbreakable root of a tree that can never wither, purely because the goal is so much larger than a single finite transaction. Section 3, the poison of ego. So why do our good deeds so often regress? We start out with a big heart, only to end up feeling bitter a few weeks later. Well, the source identifies a specific toxin that gets into our root system, and that is ego clinging. It acts exactly like a parasite, eating away at your roots. We have all heard that little voice inside whisper, "I did this," or "Look what I gained from this." Honestly, our individual egos are just exhausting to maintain. When we obsess over the I, our actions become limited to the size of I. And the really profound realization here is that when we operate with this finite transactional mindset, the true merit of our good deed vanishes the very moment the temporary result is achieved. Okay, so how do we counteract this ego parasite? We use the 3 inherent powers of bodhicitta. I want you to think of these as the continuous water and sunlight for your roots. First up is the power of aspiration. This drives the action. It pushes you forward, so your good deeds don't just stop the second you encounter resistance. Second is the power of wisdom, which guides the action. This ensures your good deeds don't go wrong or get twisted by selfish motives. And third is the power of compassion. This nourishes the action, guaranteeing your good deeds don't grow cold or bitter over time. Together, aspiration, wisdom, and compassion ensure your positive actions never wither. Section 4, transforming work and family. Now, this is where the rubber really meets the road. We can reframe our mundane tasks into active practice right in our kitchens and offices. First, family. Instead of getting annoyed by repetitive chores, View your patience with the dishes and the daily chaos as literally cultivating the rich soil of your awakened mind. Second, work. We can turn workplace competition into collaborative giving. You don't need to fight for the spotlight. Your work becomes a genuine offering to help others succeed. And finally, health. Try viewing illness as a profound lesson in impermanence to naturally deepen your compassion for everyone else out there who is suffering. Every single ordinary moment becomes a step on the path.
Section 5. Hardship as nourishment.
Adversity is the fertilizer for enlightenment to flourish. I absolutely love this concept. We usually think of hardship as this terrible storm that breaks our branches. But difficulties and criticisms aren't destroying your tree. They are the dense, raw nutrients required to make it grow. Let's face it, without the manure of difficult people and frustrating situations, our patience and compassion would have absolutely nothing to feed on. We need those challenges to strengthen our practice.
Now, have you ever felt a twinge of jealousy when a coworker gets praised or maybe a friend has a huge success? It's natural, but the text reveals a brilliant technique. Watering another's tree enriches your own roots. This means that simply by genuinely rejoicing in the good deeds and successes of others, you actually increase your own merit. You don't even have to do the heavy lifting. By warmly praising a colleague, your mind is instantly aligning with selflessness. You're watering their tree, and miraculously, your own roots grow deeper as a result.
Section 6, your daily mindset check. So, here is your daily cultivation routine. First, observe your mind for that toxic ego clinging. When you catch a selfish motive, like doing something just for praise, repent it. That is just pulling a weed out of your garden. Next, actively aspire to benefit others. That's watering your roots. And then the master stroke. Dedicate the merit. By silently dedicating whatever good came from your actions to the boundless ocean of all beings, you turn a single drop of water into an endless ocean. This is exactly how we ensure our good deeds become truly infinite. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final provocative question. I challenge you to ask yourself this right before you send your next email or before you start your next project. Is this action for my own gain, or is it for the awakening of others? If you can shift your answer toward others, you will never plant a withering banana tree again. You'll be cultivating a mind that flourishes forever. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope you enjoy bringing this boundless energy into your daily practice.